In this video we're going to create the toolpaths to create finger joint boxes, and I'm going to show you the new version of the script that allows you to make an open top box as well as the closed box. You can ignore the name of the script in my list because I'm going to change it back to the original script name. So what we do is we run the script and then we can select whether we want a closed box or an open box. And here you can see the new sexy interface. Basically it allows you to put in the length, the width, the height, the number of fingers on each box or on each side, and the amount of overhang, so you can choose how much the finger should overhang the sides. Once the script's created the models, then we're ready to select the side that we want to create the toolpaths for. Now remember, we want the models to be in the XY plane with the Z or Z pointing upwards so that we can easily create the CNC toolpaths. So we've selected the side that we want to create the dog bones on, and then we just run that add in to add the dog bones where we need them. And remember, we just enter our tool diameter. That allows us to use the tool to cut those dog bones, those little undercuts that go in the corners of the fingers. Once the dog bones are in, then we're ready to create the toolpath itself. We switch into the manufacturing desktop, and then we can figure out what our tool strategy is going to be to cut out the outside of this this side of the box. And I'm going to orient my tool so it starts in the middle of the side. That way I can put the side down, set up the tool on the CNC in the middle of where I want that final piece cut out. So I'm not coming from a corner that doesn't exist right there. If you look, I'm coming from the middle because that makes it nice and easy. I always turn off the additional stock. I don't like it when it adds the additional stock to the outside. It just makes the math more complicated. So I always turn that off and then work from there. So I think the best way to achieve this outside part is a simple 2D contour. And we're just going to take it around the outside, but we're going to do it in multiple depths because I don't like to cut through 5mm in one go because it leaves ragged edges. So we'll do it in 2mm steps, set that up in this particular toolpath, and then we can simulate it and make sure everything's good. We'll also set up some tabs so that we can make sure that the part doesn't fly out once we cut it loose. I've selected a 1/8 end mill, flat end mill, as my weapon of choice, and that's what I'm going to use to cut the whole thing. I'm just going to go through and cut it to size straight away. I'm not going to do anything fancy, not going to be any tool changes or anything crazy like that. I'll give you a quick zoom in here so you can just see the settings. I don't need to tell you every single setting. You'll be able to see them as I select them. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm setting the speed of my spindle, I'm setting the feed that I want for that, and then I'm also going to set the depths. The reason they're not already default and I don't have that saved in my library is because I installed Fusion on this computer, fresh install recently, and my libraries are not here. Please take a moment, if you've watched this far, just to give us a like for this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. So here I'm just adding the tabs at points. I'm just selecting them where I think is a smart place to put them, sort of do them evenly across both sides so that when we cut the shape out, the whole side doesn't flip out of the main piece of wood. Then I want to change the retract height. I don't want to leave it the tool come way up in the air. There's no need. It's actually a flat piece of wood with nothing around it. My clamp is from the side, so there's nothing on top that it needs to worry about. So I'm going to reduce that amount of travel because there's no need for it. Another quick zoom in just so you can see what I'm setting here. Just finalizing what I want to happen with the tool as we make the cuts. And of course there's lots of inputs here that you can select from, and don't be afraid to try them. I mean, I generally do the stuff, I go through and do the things that I know that I want to happen. I try to keep my feeds fairly conservative because I'm using a 1/8 cutter and I don't want to break it. And I also want to end up with some decent edges for the fingers to go together. Now we come to the simulation. I typically turn on the stock and I remove the holder. I just show the spindle. That way you can see what's happening. There's no reason to see the holder. I don't have any clamps sticking up. I haven't modeled any clamps, so there's nothing to see with the holder itself. I just want to make sure the spindle goes where I expected it to. And I just have a quick look, make sure everything looks right, make sure I can see the tabs are actually there. Everything looks good with this one. Very simple side. Each side is going to be the same process. It's just going to be a different profile. And notice when I selected it, I just selected the bottom profile of that side, which gave me the depth. But if you wanted to go a little bit below that profile, you could certainly do that. You can set the depth manually, make it go a bit deeper than the side. So now we've done the simulation, just a matter of post-processing it and uploading it to our CNC, then we can cut it out. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.